One of the biggest things that there's always an opening in a market, right? Say, for example, you don't have the money for a space, right? Mm-hmm. You can go on and contact every single event space in your area and this is if you want to get into this realm, right? You can contact go on Google Maps right now, search event space near me. Anybody, any age can do this. You don't need money, you don't need credit. All you need is a phone and Wi-Fi to do this. You're gonna contact every single event space in your area and be like, hey, look, listen, I went online, I saw you didn't have an Instagram, or your social media is not going crazy, whatever. I will mark your space for you. Whatever bookings we come in, I will take 20%. Any other additional bookings that we make, you'll get 20%. Now, you don't even have a space. You can be making money today. That space that's down the block from you right now, they don't got no social media, whatever the case may be. You just got them a booking organically on social media because you know how to take up a phone and post. You just got 20% of a $1,000 booking from your crib in your boxers.
What's up with it, man? It's the Kid Pushman Mitch, host of the No Fluff Podcast, a.k.a. the boy with the swag, the whips, and the watches today. You already know what it is. Got my boy, billionaireB, a.k.a. Brian No Gumble in here. The event space captain, everything you need to know about event space, about financial literacy in general, period. I can go to my boy, and I know I'm going to get some solid info.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you for tapping in.
Yo, always my boy.
You already know what time it is. So, look, this ain't like every other podcast, so we're going to get real comfortable. We don't want it to feel like you're doing an interview. So, but the first thing I'm going to ask you is, how was your day, my boy?
Yo, my day is going smooth, man. We've been in the A rocking. I appreciate you having me right now, man. We tapped in all the way.
No doubt. So your day was good? What you did?
Yo, we had another podcast earlier today.
Okay, so he working?
You already know. We had 4 yesterday, so we tapped in.
Okay, what podcast you did earlier?
I was on Ash Cash. I was on my boy Tony. I was on my boy Finesse. I did a skit with my boy Glow Jays. Today I had my man Shan, Social Proof. I got you, and then we got the networking event later on tonight.
Okay, so I'm going to be at the networking event. It's about to be ill. We're about to go do some stuff for the people. It's all about impact. So let's talk about this, man. So you getting all of this promotion, bro. That means that you must be doing something right? How does that go about? Like, how does a person start to promote their brand and get on all of these different platforms?
Absolutely. So first off, it starts with obviously reaching out, right? You got to have, actually, even before reaching out, you got to start with having a certain identity, because I could reach out to you 20 times in a row.
Facts.
If I don't got a good platform and I don't know what I'm actually talking about, especially in the financial literacy space, You're not going to have me.
Absolutely.
Even if I offer you a bag, you're not going to have me.
Absolutely.
So I think first off, it has that solid identity and being recognized for knowing what you're talking about.
True.
Number 2, obviously awareness, reaching out to people. Yo, Mitch, I see you got a pod. I'm going to be in the A. What can we do? Yo, Shans, I see you got a pod. Let's start with there, right? But above everything else, you have to understand that you got to add value. So that's number 3. Somebody's not going to have you on if you're not adding value. So I want to come in. I want to make sure I give everybody in the No Fluff podcast absolute no fluff game, giving y'all straight heat, straight bars. So doing those 3 steps, you're going to be straight.
That's awesome, bro. I like that, man. I like that because you're from like a similar tribe to me, because, you know, I'm Native American. I'm from Tell 'em How tribe. You feel me? So,
oh, yeah?
Yeah, for real. I'm from Tell 'em How. If y'all don't know what Tell 'em How is, I'm from a tribe full of people. We tell people how to get money. So, we tell 'em how. So it is what it is. You dig? So you from that same tribe. I noticed it. When I seen you, I was like, oh, he might be from, yeah, he's from, okay, cool. He might be from these Blackfoot Indians like your boy. Nah, that's what it is. But I like that. And a lot of times, in this industry that we're in, you'll see a lot of people, they actually do prefer to get fluff and advertise the fluff in order to get you to buy into their programs.
100%.
My thing is, give the real information, and the people who going to rock with you, they're going to rock with you because you voiced your expertise. A lot of people don't understand that. Me in particular, I give all the game. I don't hold nothing back, clearly, except for things that I probably shouldn't say online. And that's the only game that I probably hold back from. But I definitely give people actionable steps to help them with their mindset, help them with their credit, help them with their financials. And that's really the name of the game. Actually giving value, doing it for free. And then you get so much value from this that people want to actually shop with you. So now that brings me to you. You got all of these students all over the world getting event spaces, right?
Absolutely.
So first of all, why would someone want to invest in an event space? Like, why would somebody do that?
So honestly, for me, event spaces are the best asset class when it comes to real estate. When you compare cash-on-cash returns, short-term rentals, Airbnb, single-family homes, flipping, wholesaling, event spaces have the best return. I'll break down a couple numbers for you, right? You can literally go get a credit card, Chase Income Limited, one of my favorite ones, get a $15K limit, right? Bump it up, get a $25K limit, right? Get the $25K limit, you can go and lease a space, 1 month rent, 1 month security, right? Say, for example, the rent is $3,500 a month. Literally what I started with. My first space, $3,500 a month rent, right? That's $7K. You hand the landlord a $7K check. You got to do the build out. You're doing a minimum viable product. You put $10,000 on the spot. Now you're up to $17,000, right? $17,500. You got $25K off the events, off the credit card. You still got a little money left over for furniture. You spend $8K on furniture, tables and chairs and a bar. Now you're up and moving. But the greatest thing about that is that you just took $25K to start this full-fledged business, right? Once you start, now you're pre-selling it on websites like Peerspace, Splacer, Gigster. I'm sure you're familiar with some of them, right?
Sure.
And now once you're pre-selling, people are coming in, placing deposits. You can easily run up 3 packages or whatever the case may be and go and get that $25K back in a month or 2 months or 3 months max. And the even greatest part about that is that when we were leasing these spaces, you ask for something called rent concession. Now, with rent concession, you're getting free rent to go and build out the space. So now I might get 4 months of free rent, which on average I do, but I'm building out the location in 30 days, max 60, and I'm pre-selling for another 2 months. So before month 1, when I'm even spending my money on rent, I've already made back all my money to pay back that original Chase Inc. credit card.
That's smart, but you try to fast talk me and we not letting that ride. All right,
Let's
so
break it down.
So this is what we're going to go back to. Chase Inc. Unlimited card. I have one of those. What do you have to do to be in position to be able to get one of those?
Yeah, absolutely. So Chase pulls from Experian, right?
Okay.
Ideally, you want to have good credit, so probably a 720 with Chase, right? Okay. If you don't have a 720, I understand. You know, you want to build up these building blocks, right? So it's so funny because I actually just made a post on this. Ideally, you want to get a copy of your credit report first, right? Thanks. You can go on identityiq.com, myscoreiq.com, because you want to see where you're placed at. Absolutely. Credit is based on 5 factors, right? New credit, age of history, mix, utilization, late payments, right? So you want to see where you stand because your credit score is only a reflection of your credit profile. Right. So once you get a copy of your credit profile, you might see, all right, cool, look, listen, my Chase is my Experian is a 680, my TransUnion is a 650, my Equifax is a 680, right? But you're strong in 2 of the 3 bureaus. So I'm going to look for banks or credit cards that are pulling from these bureaus. Right. For example, Chase. You might also go and tap in with a bank like a Navy Federal. Everybody knows the Navy Federal play. If you don't know the Navy Federal play, you got a 680, you got an LLC. In 90 days, you let the money mature. You can turn around and you can get a loan from Navy Federal. $10,000. Wow, just like that. And if you don't have that either, Navy Federal has a secured credit card, so you can get the N Rewards secured credit card, build up your credit like that, turn around, double back, build that relationship, get a loan from them. 90 days, right? Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to get the Chase Inc. Unlimited, it's a little bit more of a harder card to get, so I'd probably start off with maybe a Chase Freedom Flex. Get the Chase Freedom Flex, you get 1% cash back on everything. It's just a little bit easier, like I said. So I would get the N Rewards secured credit card, Chase Freedom Flex, then get the Chase Inc. Unlimited.
Okay, I like that. So now we at least know how to get the first part before we go this play about how to get this event space and pay $25K back. It's important that we do this because a lot of people will make things sound simpler than they are. They 100%. Are simple, but it isn't simple for a person who needs to have a person to hold their hand or give them structure, right. Especially by showing them how to do it first. Right. Now, if I just say, do this, do this, do this, do this. Okay, well, how did I do this first? Right. How did I do it? So you just told them. So the key thing is that's how you got to make sure your credit is in position. The first key before getting into business, in my opinion, is to get your personal credit up. It doesn't depend on it, but it is going to make your actual journey easier. Yeah. Because when it comes time to expand or trying to get something that may cost more than you have right now, you can do your pre-sale method that you just talked about, and also you can be able to have credit to be able to afford all of the funds. Yep. But a lot of people will try to do business when they have nothing, no cash, no job, no momentum, no credit. And they're like, I want to start a business. Okay, first of all, you need to go to work. Like, let's just be real. Like, a lot of people will not tell you this on their podcast. Yeah, you can start an LLC. Yeah, you can start a business. Yeah, you can sell whatever you want to sell. But some people need to get an infrastructure. They need to get their foundation, which is just work. I don't care if you got to drive Uber. I don't care if you got to drive Lyft. I don't give a damn if you got to deliver DoorDash, Instacart. Go start making some income first to start helping you repair your credit, give you the time to be able to pay all your bills you have now in order to invest into a mentor like Brian so he can tell you what cars to go get, exactly how he told you, what type of things to look for, like what type of units to look for, what type of build-outs to do, what type of credits that you can get for it is like 4 months free. Like, how do you get 4 months free? Like, why would someone do that if I'm a lender?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if I'm a
landlord.
Yeah,
absolutely. So typically we're not going for spaces that are turnkey. Turnkey basically meaning there's no work that's needed. I'm looking for spaces, and if you really, like, I use websites like Crexy, LoopNet, and Craigslist, and I typically filter it by under $25 a square foot per year because that usually weeds out the spaces that are much more expensive and that are turnkey. I want a space that needs build out, needs work in it. Because when you're trying to flip houses, right, you're not going for the nicest house on the block. You're going for the ugliest house so you can add value, sell it for a profit.
Facts.
Right? So I'm going for spaces that need work. So I can go to the landlord and be like, hey, look, listen, I see this space has been sitting here for a minute. I will come in, I'll offer you $18 a square foot, but I need 4 months of rent concession because I got to build it out. I got to do plumbing, I got to do electrical, You want to obviously exacerbate the needs of the space, but we're not coming in and doing all that right away. We want to get those 3 to 4 months rent concession. And I know people who have never heard of me, and they'll come in and they'll be like, I didn't even know that I could get rent concession. I just came out the gate paying money. And I'm like, that's crazy. Because I've never done that. Like I wouldn't even take a space where I don't get rent concession. Because why would you leave free money on the table like that?
This is facts.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then it's when you get the space, you have those 3 to 4 months cushion, because that's really what it is, right? And you build it out doing a minimum viable product. Doing a minimum viable product is you're coming into a space and you're not doing everything. You're not doing all the work. You're doing the bare minimum just to get it up and running, right? So that's like the flooring, the walls, painting the walls white, the lighting, just getting it into a place where it's presentable and people can actually have an event.
Right.
Then, as I'm pre-selling it, like I mentioned before with the websites that I said, I'm going to take that same money, pour it back into the space. So now I'm not using my own money. I use a credit card money to get the business going, and then I'm using the client's money to finish it up.
Right.
And that's
so
literally
let's talk
what
about
we've
that.
been doing.
Let's talk about that pre-sale method you was explaining.
Absolutely.
So what if I don't have anything built out yet, and I'm going into this place where I got to do the build, and they give me 4 months upfront free without me having to pay, and now I want to do pre-sale. What am I pre-selling if I don't have anything to show?
Absolutely. So that's a great question. So typically what I'll do, right? You ever been to an apartment before they finish the building?
Yes.
Right. What do? They have a floor plan.
Right.
So I'm going to go and draw out the measurements of my space. I'm going to take it to somebody on Fiverr paying like $10, $20, and they're going to draw out a floor plan. So now I can visibly show the client when they walk in, hey, look, listen, the tables are going to be here, the chairs are going to be here, the drapes are going to be here, the bathroom is going to be here, the bar is going to be here, the food is going to be here, the kitchen is going to be here. So now when they come into my space and they see a shell, but they see the idea and the vision of what it's going to look like in a couple months, now they're just like, oh, okay, I feel a little bit better about this now. Another thing, and there's actually even new technology now, you can use a website called allseated.com, allseated.com, and you'll actually be able to make a visual representation of what the space will look like in future, fully built out. It's crazy. And then when the space is fully built out, you can use another website called matterport.com, which is going to do a 3D floor plan of the space.
Oh, that's hard. Okay, cool. So now I can see how that could work. So now you got them.
Oh, but there's more.
Okay, go.
So now once you've done the floor plan, what you also want to do is you obviously want to sell the space, right? So we're going to use Canva, simple graphic design website, to go and create a brochure of our space. So we're going to embed that floor plan in the brochure. So now when people come into the space, we're going to be like, hey, look, listen, this has the tables and chairs, this has the bar, this has the bathrooms over here. This is what, when it's fully built out, this is what's going to happen, because this is what all these luxury high-rise condos do.
Right.
They have one model, and they have a whole building full of empty shells, and they just say, this is what it's going to look like, buy it.
Right.
And that's the name of the game, so that they're not burning up all their cash, finishing the entire building to make their first dollar. That's not why would I want to play the game in terms of spending all my own money when I could use somebody else's?
This is true. All right, so when you do a build out, do you normally use the same type floor plan? Like you're gonna put the exact same flooring, exact same walls, like you already know how it's gonna look before you even build it out?
Not necessarily. I did my first build out with ceramic floor. I did my second one with epoxy. But I was learning at this time, you know what I'm saying? So it really depends on your own budget.
Right. The reason I asked is because I feel like it would be smart to do that so you can advertise the new space with the old space. Say, oh, yeah, it's going to look exactly like this. This is how I do all my units. This unit just happens to be in New York, but I'm setting this one up here, and it's going to look just like this.
You can do that.
Now. I mean, I think it would be ill. That's
But what about the people who are getting their first space? You know what I'm saying? They can't do that. They don't have a. They don't.
But this is just an additional strategy to be able to use. Or let's say if you're their mentor and they're saying, okay, cool, this is who I'm affiliated with, and we do all our units this way. I can use yours. That's what I'm doing.
That's what we do.
I'm a leverager, so I'm gonna be like, okay, cool. All of my spaces look like this. These are my New York spaces. Boom, boom, boom. I show yours.
That's exactly what we do.
I come down here and I could pre-sell it easier versus you trying to look at the blueprint. Like that blueprint and the floor plan look cool to me, but at the end of the day, I'd be like, I don't give a damn what this is. Like this is if you're like me. Yeah. But a lot of people do look at the floor plan. I'm like, let me see the floor plan. I want to look at it. And they're like, oh, yeah, the bathroom going to be right there. Me, when I look at the little sketches, I'll be like, I don't know what this is. Like, I don't like how it looks. So I'm, in particular, one of the people who would be like, all right, you can't pre-sell me on no.
I feel you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I can see it. But I just wanted to give him an alternative way to think about it because that's how I leverage anything. If I got one, I got 50. You
100%.
Know what I'm saying? Like, and I can definitely sell people on more things that I don't have. Pre-sale methods are really like key when it comes to business anyway. So let's talk about another thing that you do, which is the coaching aspect.
Yeah.
How does the coaching aspect ever interfere with you running your event spaces?
So the thing about the point we're at now with my personal event space is that I have a full-time manager. So she takes care of all that stuff. She takes care of the social media. She takes care of the inquiries, the open houses, everything. So
is she good as you?
She's good enough.
That's no.
That's not a no.
Is she good as you?
No. Because the reason, when you're out, and this is my formula for when you outsource something, right? Because we can't do everything ourselves,
True.
right? My formula is that if somebody, and I'm not saying she is, but I'm saying if somebody can be at least 75% as good as me, that's good enough. Because that takes me out the equation and I have my time to go do other high income tasks.
Okay.
Because you'll never have somebody as good as you. There's never going to be somebody who can run a car company like Pushman Mitch. There's never
I think
going to
there
be
is someone.
Respectfully, but they're never going to do it like you. They might perform the tasks as you, which is good. That's the 75%.
Right,
but they're never going to be you. That's the extra 25%.
That's fact.
That's why SOPs come into play. Programs come into play, right? Because I can have a virtual assistant that I pay $4 an hour come in and answer all the inquiries. This is the script. This is the SOP. These are the programs that we use, and they'll get the job done. They're not going to have the same swag as me. They're not going to be able to talk to kind of sauce them up like me, but it gets the job done, and it gets my 40 hours back.
This is true.
You feel me?
That was a good answer. So, no, for real, a lot of people really have to worry about this, and a lot of people are not comfortable talking about this. Me, I coach too. I also run businesses as well.
Yo.
My businesses suffer when I coach because I'm focused on the coaching. I'm focused on my students. I'm focused on building up people, helping them start their businesses. So clearly, my business is going to be in the back of my mind, not in the front of my mind. So a lot of people think that they can have the focus and the balance, but it's impossible.
Yeah.
So basically, like the stuff you said, having policy and procedures in place, having all these things in order, have someone running it is your system that you use to be able to delegate your time. So people got to think about that. And I always make people like yourself talk about that because a lot of people are under the impression because we have companies and businesses and we're coaching that we're the anomaly. Like we can be able to just do all of these different things at once and be successful at them. Yes, I was successful. I had a 7-figure rental car business when I was actively in it. Now it's a 6-figure business, which is a slower grind because I'm not actively in it. It still does make good money, but if I was in it, I'd make more.
100%.
But since I'm in the coaching aspect, my coaching business is doing the best. I'm focusing on the coaching business. And we got to really understand when we're pivoting industry to industry, we have to do it in a systematic way to where it still makes sense to even do it. Otherwise, that's when the rental car business will get cut completely off. Or if I decide to go back to rental car business, the coaching gets cut off because you got to think about what is bringing in the most money, what is fulfilling me the most, what am I making the most impact with and the most income. That's what we got to really think about. So now let's say as far as struggles that you've had, what was the biggest struggle you've had with trying to diversify your time?
Absolutely. So I guess the biggest thing would be, first of all, having the framework to do each, right? Okay. So it's like, all right, cool. If I'm focusing on the coaching, how's my events-based business still going to get handled while I'm not there?
Right.
While I'm focusing on the coaching, how is this going to be stabilized and how this is going to grow while this is kind of like while I'm not doing, because I'm figuring out the coaching. This is when I started. Mm-hmm. I'm figuring out the coaching while at the same time automating this business.
Right.
So for me, the biggest struggle, I guess, to say was just the learning curve. Mm-hmm. Like, all right, cool. I'm trying to automate this while at the same time trying to learn this. So I guess for me, the way I kind of circumnavigated that was get a mentor, invest in somebody so they can get you there faster. Because I can Google and YouTube myself to death, but if I get somebody who's already done it, now it's just like, all right, cool. They just open up the gates, and now I just get there a lot faster. I get to my desired outcome a lot faster. So with the event spaces, figured out how to automate that with my VAs, my SOPs, everything like that, which is what we hand over to all our students, right? Okay. And then with the coaching framework, I had a mentor. I spent over $220,000 last year in personal mentorship and advertising. Just personal development. Advertising was a whole other bag, but just personal development, masterminds, mentors, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, so that they can give me the frameworks where I can outsource my coaching business and make sure that it's being run like an efficient business.
Would you do it again?
Which part?
The mentorship investment and the personal development investment.
100%.
It paid off itself times how much?
I would say at least 8 to 10 times.
That's crazy.
Anything that I invest in myself is always going to get 10x.
So a good friend of mine taught me this this particular analogy: to lie, steal, and cheat. So we need to lie to ourselves to tell us that we are bigger than what we are, to mentally get ourselves in position. We need to steal time from others who already have done what we want to get to, like going to events, going to conferences, still as much information, still as much education, still as much knowledge from people, and we need to cheat off of people who've been there already. I need to cheat from if I find out that Brian's doing something the correct way, I'm gonna cheat off you, cheat off your test. When you cheat at school, you never go cheat off the dumbest kid in class. You cheat off the smartest kid, to where if that person tells you it's pick B, you're going to just pick B without questioning. You ain't going to have to research nothing. I'd rather go to Brian and say, look, I want to start an event phase. Show me how to do this, John, real quick.
100%.
And I'm going to trust what you say. Trust those websites you gave, the blueprints you gave, the SOPs you gave, because you're a person who has the receipts and social proof. That's just to lie, steal, and cheat. So shout out to Asna Khalifa on that joint. She definitely turned me up with that one. But what I want y'all to understand is just that concept is what gets people to close the information gap. Like, what's the information gap between me and you? How much does that cost? How much time does that cost? How much effort does that cost? Do I want to go struggle myself, go to Google, YouTube, study this guy, see if he's correct, study this guy, see if he's right, go to this website, and then, or do I want to go to him who has everything already put together in one place to where I don't got to go look nowhere? I can go right here and start monetizing my business. I'm going to go to Brian. Like, let's just be real. I'm going to just put it out there. So that's how we got to figure out what's important to us, how to prioritize our time, and how to make a return on our investments. So a lot of people do things without even getting an ROI. Like, what's something that you've bought before that you'll never get that money back, but everybody considers it normal?
I guess just going out.
Going out, like to a club or
Going
something.
out to a club, yeah, popping bottles, all that.
You popped a bottle before? You be getting sections?
Years ago. I stopped drinking like 4 years ago.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
I knew I liked that about you. Don't drink?
Nah, I don't drink.
Smart mind. Okay, so going out to the club, you go get a section. If it's in ATL in New York, I know we getting sections for like 3 racks.
Easy.
So there's no ROI on that. I never get that money back, but it's very normal. It's normalized to where if I hit my group of friends and say we going out to so-and-so, everybody will be like, yeah, I'll put in for that. No problem. But if I say, look, we're going to Brian Mastermind, he's going to be teaching us how to make 7 figures with an event space. Everybody's like, oh, I don't know. I need to see if it really works. You need to check all these different things. But you don't got to check if the bottles is real liquor. If they really filled up to the top, they're going to add 20% gratuity on that joint. They're going to add 10 extra bottles, everything. You don't ask no questions about that. But when it comes to education and being able to fish for yourself and make your own money, we got all the questions. So that would lead me to get to the part where who are we around? What are we listening to? Who are we talking to? What is our diet? You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So tell us like maybe 3 things in your diet that's helped you be able to make the right decisions, like finding that mentor you found, being able to hang around the people you've been hanging around lately, and have the conversations you've been having.
This is my camera?
Yeah.
That is my camera?
Yeah.
Yo, 3 things right now. Number 1, take the music app off your phone, replace it with podcasts. That's the number 1 thing that has changed my life for the better. Because now every time you open up your home screen, at the bottom, you seeing what you consistently consume. If you're looking at phone, internet, music, whatever the case may be, those are the top 4 things that you consistently consume. So if I have podcasts there instead of music, by virtue and by automatic and by habit, I'm going to click that podcast app every time I have a second. I'm driving in my car, I'm at lunch, I'm on a break, whatever the case may be. I'm going to hit that podcast app. 2, whenever you in your spare time, start auditing your time. Start looking at your screen time. Everybody got an iPhone, look at your screen time. What are you spending the most time on? You on Hollywood Unlocked? You on Instagram? Things like that? Start picking up a book. Start picking up the Bible. Do whatever it is you got to do. Start changing the environment, because a lot of people think that you need to spend all this money on masterminds and things, as I encourage you that you should, but I understand not everybody is able to because they have whatever they got going on. You can change your own environment digitally by tapping into podcasts, by reading different books, right? I order probably 2 to 3 books every single week. I don't get to every single one of them, but I order it just because I have it in my room, and now every time I have a single second, I could tap in. I'm not looking at the TV. I rarely even watch TV. I don't even have cable. Respectfully, because I want to fill my time with, all right, cool, I got all these books here, I'm going to pick one up in my spare time. And then 3 is just the people that you converse with on the daily. If you can't pick up the phone right now and call 10 people to lend you $1,000, you got to change your contact list.
Ooh.
If you cannot call 10 people in your phone book to lend you $1,000, you need to delete your entire phone book, because these are the wrong people these are the wrong people you have around. I could call Mitch right now and be like, yo, let's put a play together. He's like, all right, say when.
This is fast.
Easy, because this is a circle that I've affiliated myself with, but so many people are not affiliating themselves with the wrong with the right circle. If you need to, get out your hometown. A lot of people, they in small towns, there's nobody really here, so move. You are not a tree, you can move.
I like that. You're not a tree, you can move. Now, a lot of people really are stuck to their area codes.
Crazy.
I have all different type of events. I'm like, yo, I'm doing a free class on this day. And they'll say, oh, I will come. Let me know when you're going to be in Detroit. I'm not. I'm not. So you need to come over here. What's stopping you? I got to come to you? That lets people think that success is something that's convenient. What you want and desire in life is going to be convenient for you. Like, it's going to come to you. It's not. Opportunities don't come to you. It's facts. Opportunities don't come to you. You come to opportunities. So whenever I get an opportunity to do something, I don't care if it's in Cali, I don't care if it's in Puerto Rico, I don't care if it's in Dubai, I'm going to go take that opportunity and go to the opportunity. Like one of my mentors, of course, that's not official, but Hov, Jay-Z, he always talks about not going with the flow, always be the flow. So what that, in essence, means is that I create what happens to me. I don't go with the flow. I don't we'll see what happens. No, I know what's going to happen because I'm intentional about what I do. I make these things happen. And I could tell you're that same type of person, which is something that me and you definitely see eye to eye with. So I always see that you don't wait for motion. You like, look, that's why you down here doing all these podcasts. You made it, and you followed up with me plenty of times. And you said, yo, you want to come to this event? I said, yes, because you are creating the opportunity. I respect people who do that. People who literally like, oh, yeah, we'll see. I mean, whatever happens.
Nah,
I hate that.
Can't do that.
That means that your bag comes.
You're in the back seat of your life.
That's what I'm saying. It's like literally everybody who does that, when you waiting, that means you're waiting for a bag. Can you imagine that thought? I'm waiting for a bag to come to me. You're going to be a waiting ass. Like people like me going to go get it. In this world, look, the world is a competition. That's just facts. We need to understand that, and that's from relationships with people. That's a competition. Like if I want to get a woman, I'm in competition with every other guy. It's facts. If I want to go get a job, if I apply for a 9-to-5, when I put in an application, me and the thousands of people put an application, if I get that job, I just took food out of this person's mouth. It just is what it is. It's a competition. If I took it, I'm happy. Yay, finally, first day. This person like, damn, I swear I was going to get that.
Yup.
So that means if you sitting there waiting around, the more offers, the more applications I put in, the more opportunities I got to take control of what's going on with me. The more times I go and hit on this young lady is the more opportunity that I get to pull this young lady. The more opportunities I take for investments, bettering myself education-wise, financial literacy, making sure I go to figure out what's the latest thing in taxes. How can I save money here? I'm active. Imagine if I wait for the information to come to me. Like, all right, yeah, they about to tell me something about tax or something like that. I done 2, 3, 4 years that came by, I done paid 20 times over on taxes.
Crazy.
Never be the flow. Never go with the flow, always be the flow. So this is what I don't do.
Let me add one more thing to that, though. Always, you got to understand, you got to move fast. Like, success is not convenient. And if I took my time going after every opportunity, I would have had none. More people need to understand, like you just said, you can't wait for the flow. You got to be the flow. You got to create the opportunity. You talking to a girl, you can't. I remember when you coming up in your young age, it's like, oh, I'm going to wait for a good opportunity. You can't wait for a good opportunity. You got to make one. Mm-hmm. If I want to get a new space, I can't wait for the space to come to me. I got to get one.
Facts.
I want to get a new car. I want to be like Push. I got to go get one. Facts. I can't wait for it to. A Lambo's not going to pull up inside my crib.
And it's not going to go down on price.
And it's not going to go down on price.
Let's just put that out there, too.
Which is another thing, too. The more you wait, the more it costs. It always costs more to wait. Taxes going up every year. Prices going up every year. Eggs like $8 a carton right now.
Crazy.
Ain't nothing getting cheaper. So the longer you take is the longer it's going to take to get to the next level, respectfully.
Facts. That's facts. So this is what I want to do, B. So before I get you up out of here, I want you to give them one play that a person who has no experience in business, that isn't an expert when it comes to entrepreneurship, give them a play where they can leave from watching this interview and go make some money.
Absolutely. So the number one thing I would say is start, as cliche as it is, start working on your credit. 100%. Like, I don't care if you're at least 18 years old watching this podcast right now, start working on your credit. Start working on your credit. Start getting into the right rooms, because the thing about it is that what you consume changes you. So if you're not getting around the right people, you're going to go down a downward spiral of just no return. So you want to start getting around people, and you want to start rebuilding your credit. Those are two things that you could get right there.
Okay.
So once you're focused on your credit, and you could, there's no end to money. The wealthy use credit as a tool to get rich every single day. And then above all else, when you do have that money, start getting around your circles, because the right circle is going to tell you what to do with that money and going to make you a bigger bag, and a bigger bag, and a bigger bag, respectfully.
Okay. I would allow that, but I'll make you give him some more.
Some more?
We got to get some money. We need to get somebody to get an actual profit when they leave from this. Like, credit, yes, that will help you for sure. That was good bars. But I need them to leave knowing how to make $1 out of 15 cents. Let's go.
At $1 out of 15 cents.
Give me something where they can leave from today.
Okay.
And make some money.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the biggest things that there's always an opening in a market, right? Say, for example, you don't have the money for a space, right? Mm-hmm. You can go on and contact every single event space in your area and this is if you want to get into this realm, right? You can contact go on Google Maps right now, search event space near me. Anybody, any age could do this. You don't need money. You don't need credit. All you need is a phone and Wi-Fi to do this. You're going to contact every single event space in your area and be like, hey, look, listen, I went online. I saw you didn't have an Instagram, or your social media is not going crazy, whatever. I will mark your space for you. Whatever bookings we come in, I will take 20%. Any other additional bookings that we make, you'll get 20%. Now, you don't even have a space. You can be making money today. That space that's down the block from you right now, they don't got no social media, whatever the case may be. You just got them a booking organically on social media because you know how to take up a phone and post. You just got 20% of $1,000 booking from your crib in your boxers. Or your undies, whatever the case may be.
And just like that, he gives y'all a bar that he was about to hold in his pocket.
Not even!
But nah, appreciate that, B. No, so tell them how they can find you on social media. Tell them how they can follow up with you if they want to get and be a part of your program.
Absolutely.
Because I heard, I met a lot of your students. They actually are getting event spaces and monetizing it. So I want to get more success stories like that. So
absolutely. I'm blessed to have the #1 event space program in the United States. If you want to tap in with me, my Instagram is @billionaireB. What I want to do for everybody on my man's podcast is that what we do is we have an upcoming masterclass where we'll be showing you how to get the funding, find, fill, and fund your event space. So everybody who comes to the No Fluff podcast, y'all going to get a free seat. All you got to do is go to myfirsteventspace.com. You spell out the word first, myfirsteventspace.com, and you'll be tapped in.
Yes, sir. Just like that. billionaireB on the gram. Pushman Mitch, No Fluff the podcast. We out of here. You dig?